the ultimate ballet experience. One of my dream roles is in it. It's gonna hit all the boxes. This might be your ballet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain. Today, we, as your most trusted, very favorite ballet nerds on the internet, are going to attempt to matchmake y'all. You probably were not expecting to be match-made by two ballet nerds on the internet today, but always expect the unexpected.
Just kidding, but not really. Today's video, we are going to be matchmaking you guys with your supposedly, hopefully, subjectively perfect ballet, depending on your situation.
We have, over our years of ballet nerding, compiled the classical ballet rep into a series of like categories, if you will.
Exactly.
In hopes that today we can help you find and curate your next ballet viewing experience. Because I feel like the classical ballet repertoire is pretty wide.
It's
and
vast.
honestly, there should be something out there for pretty much anyone. So if you're ready to be matched with a ballet, hit the like button, make sure to hype this video, and let's go. Let's go.
Our first recommendation today is not actually a ballet, but it still deserves recognition, and this is the partner of today's video, FOREO, Sweden. FOREO is one of our favorite brands when it comes to skincare, but like on an elevated level because they're most well known for their red light therapy devices. Red light therapy is incredible for just like overall skin health. It helps stimulate collagen production and all of that jazz, and it genuinely does help smooth out wrinkles and fine lines, and it really helps reduce acne, scars, and hyperpigmentation and things like that.
The FAQ 202 red light face mask in particular is one of our favorite devices. We've been using it for quite some time now, as you'll probably know. It's wireless, so you're not like tethered to the outlet.
Oh my god,
you can wear it while you're like going about your daily life
or ballet nerding.
And if you use the FOREO app as well on your phone,
it's so
it will like change the colors for you. There are 8 different wavelengths and colors of light, and each of them targets like a different skin concern. So you can tailor your skincare mask regimen to your specific skin needs.
If you want to take it to the next level, they do have the incredible FAQ red light peptide serum, which does contain photoreactive ingredients in it, and it's going to basically take all of the light that is putting into your skin and make it that much more effective. The best part about it is it's so easy. Like you genuinely don't have to put really any thought into it. You just push a couple of buttons and that's really it.
Another device that we absolutely have been loving is the UFO 3.
Yes, this one's
we use this like all the time at the end of long days. There's T-sonic massage, there's light therapy, and there's also like a warming function.
Warming and cooling function.
And you use it with the little serum packets that they use, and it's so relaxing, and it's a full spa in like 5 minutes, and it's just
incredible. Make sure to check them out with the link in the description box, and we do have a code for you guys to use.
FOREO is having their spring sale, and if you use the code BR30, you can get 30% off almost all of their products. So thank you so much to FOREO for partnering with us on today's video, and without further shenanigans, let us continue on to our ballet matchmaking session. A disclaimer before we begin, this is like the most basic, like popular ballets out there in the repertoire.
Yes.
We're just gonna kind of be covering those. But if you want like a niche recommendations list, comment below and we will consider doing another episode depending on the reception this video gets. I'm kidding. But like not really. If you guys like this video and you want a niche ballet recs video, you know what to do.
Category number 1.
Yeah, category number 1 is the classics.
Classics.
Like if you were to ask the epitome
of ballet. Like the ultimate ballet experience.
Like, or if you were like new to ballet and you're like, I want to know the most iconic one,
then these are the recommendations for you.
Honestly, for beginner ballet nerds. Okay, this is not really for children, but like if you're like an adult, but you're like want to get into watching ballet. One of the first ones I would recommend you watch is probably Romeo and Juliet.
Ooh.
Because, and I have reasons for this.
Okay, go
because
for it.
It's such a popular story. Most people know the story of Romeo and Juliet.
It's Shakespeare. It's iconic by default. And so if you kind of know the general story and concepts of Romeo and Juliet, you're going to definitely be able to follow along.
So that with the story taken care of in your brain, you can just go to the ballet with no prior knowledge and just sit back and enjoy it. Because you know how it plays out. You don't have to be worrying what's going on, who's that.
Exactly.
You kind of know the characters, you know the story, and you can just enjoy the story being told to you via the dancing. So like if like an adult came to me and was like, hey, I want to start watching ballet, Romeo and Juliet is what I would recommend.
Romeo and Juliet's really good. I think the storytelling, the acting is probably what is the key selling point for this recommendation. I think that yes, the music in some people's taste can be a little bit more abstract, but it is Prokofiev. Prokofiev is definitely has a darker flavor to his music in general, and so it's definitely not going to be, you know, the sweetness that you see in Giselle, for instance.
But it's still a beautiful ballet,
yes,
and if you want something that you don't have to do a whole ton of research into the story,
exactly,
it's imbued with a lot of emotion. So even if you know nothing about dancing, you'll be able to appreciate it and feel the story. Yes. So that's one of my first recommendations for classics that if you don't really know ballet.
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet's a good option. If you want classics in terms of the romantic era of ballet, my top recommendation would probably be Giselle.
Without a doubt. I think Giselle is very clear, I think, story-wise, and is very heavy with emotion.
It is the peak of romantic ballet. I feel like, to me, in my mind, it is one of the
It's the epitome of romantic era ballet, which is one of the older eras of ballet.
But I think if you want that romantic ballet vibe, if you want long romantic tutus, like the really fluffy ones.
You want storylines, you want plot points, you want redemption and love and heartbreak and all of that stuff. Giselle is your ballet.
Exactly. It's a little bit has like an eeriness to it, but it also has some human moments. It has like an overarching themes of redemption and love and forgiveness.
Yes.
And it's just a really beautiful ballet. We have done an entire video breaking down the story and like the creation of the ballet Giselle.
Go watch it.
Linked above and below. Surprisingly, it's one of our more popular videos on this channel. Not surprisingly, because Giselle's beautiful.
Giselle is a fantastic ballet, but if you want more explanation on how to, you know, appreciate it and understand it when you go to the ballet, we do have a video that will help with that.
Story-wise, it is a little more complex than R&J.
I mean,
but it's not
awful. Once you kind of get familiar with the characters and the story, then it's pretty easy to follow, honestly. Now, if you're thinking classic ballet in the classical era, I think this goes without saying, Swan Lake. I think almost anyone who's ever heard of ballet is going to have heard about Swan Lake. You probably know the music, you probably at least know the themes, the main themes of Swan Lake. It's in media everywhere. Everyone knows Four Little Swans. Everyone knows the theme, you know.
Everyone knows Black Swan,
exactly,
White Swan, and the whole
those concepts are always there.
Swan Lake and R&J are definitely more dance heavy.
Definitely,
than Giselle. So you will have a lot more time of there just being dancing, not necessarily story building. And again, because they're such emotionally charged ballets,
it's so beautiful.
That regardless of whether you know ballet or you don't know ballet, you can come and enjoy that experience.
Yes.
I would personally recommend, assuming like you have a pretty good attention span and a big interest in ballet, I would almost always recommend someone to go see Swan Lake.
Yeah, as a first ballet.
Because I think it's a great first impression to ballet. It's just one of the ballets, it's like
ballet's
it's a
greatest
symbol.
Yeah. All of ballet's greatest hits are gonna be in Swan Lake, or a lot of them. A good number of ballet's greatest numbers and most iconic pieces are gonna be in Swan Lake. Four Little Swans, The Black Swan, Pas de Deux.
And the iconic tableau of the
swans
maidens. By the lake.
Yes, it's iconic.
The swan theme.
Yes,
I mean, come on.
The overture, you sit in your seat, you hear the overture. That's already like an iconic moment. That's already the experience right there.
So those three, I think, are like spanning all eras. But yeah, they are classics.
The next category we're going to be covering are your short and sweet ballets.
Yes.
These are ballets that are around an hour, sometimes less, that are easier if you have, you know, say a shorter attention span, or maybe you just want, you know, a nice short evening at the ballet rather than like a 2-3 hour affair. These ones honestly have a humongous range in terms of like emotions and tones and textures and even like classic to neoclassicness. So the oldest one of this series, we're gonna go from like oldest to newest. We're starting with one of our favorites, and we do have a full analysis on this one, but this one is the Firebird. And this one is definitely one of the most iconic ballets in terms of the music alone. You can find the Firebird in symphonies. A lot of symphonies do the Firebird suite. It is really an iconic work by Stravinsky. It's fantastic. I'm gonna warn you, it's a little bit out there if you're used to things like, you know, really sweet, sweeping melodies and things like that. Stravinsky isn't gonna give you that in the Firebird exactly.
But you are going to be absolutely dazzled. It is our favorite ballet for a reason.
It definitely is, and I think that if you do have an appreciation for Stravinsky anyways, you're going to adore the Firebird. Now, there are several versions of this, and we kind of cover that in that video, but there's the Balanchine version, and there's almost every company, I feel like, these days has done their own version. Some of them are a lot more modern, but if you're talking like the original Firebird, you're going to want to look for what they call the Fokine version. Fokine was the original choreographer of the ballet. So if you're looking for the original Firebird, look for the Fokine Fokine version.
Yeah,
Mikhail Fokine's The Firebird.
Or like choreographed after Mikhail Fokine,
Yeah.
meaning that
Yeah.
they kept most of his choreography.
Exactly.
That's where you're gonna get like more classical ballet version of The Firebird. An hour to sometimes like 48 minutes.
Yeah, depending on how fast the conductor is, but and then if you're doing something like the Balanchine version where they actually shorten the ballet a little bit, it's even more concise, and it's like
30 minutes,
30 to 45 minutes depending.
The Firebird in terms of tone is just absolutely magical. It has a really fairy tale feel, but not in like a princesses and castles it's like a very folklore, darkly magical feeling to it. It's magical, it's powerful, and it's so thrilling.
I think The Firebird's really good because it has such a
simple premise.
It's a very simple premise, and you don't really even need to fully understand what's going on in order to just get it. And I think the music helps with this, and like just the way the ballet is laid out helps with this. Speaking about the Fokine version anyway. So if you're new to ballet and you want something short, this might be your ballet if you can handle Stravinsky. The next one we're going to be talking about today is Gaieté Parisienne, and this is a ballet that is very, very, very short, and honestly does not really have a storyline in it. It's sort of just like a montage or a tableau.
It's set in, obviously, Paris, Gaieté Parisienne, and it's really from that Can Girl era. It's set in like Parisian nightclub, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
that's basically
it's a cafe, right? Or is it?
It's a cafe. It's a nightclub. It's one of those like.
They're the Can Girls there, and
exactly.
like if you like that kind of vibe, it's really whimsical. It's ostentatious. It's flashy.
Yeah, it's dazzling. It's very playful, and I think that it can be very, very appealing if you really want something with high energy. And it's a short ballet, not so much of a story as it is just pure energy and vibe, and you just kind of get to experience what it might actually be like to spend one evening in that particular
nightclub in Paris.
Yeah, in that particular nightclub in Paris.
You meet all sorts of characters. There's a flower girl, there's a glove seller, there's a baron, there's like a general, and there, all the Can Girls, obviously.
Of course.
The dancing is so fun.
And the costuming is usually very, very bright, very colorful. The scenery is usually very, very fun. And so this one's all energy, all vibes, and the music as well. It has the iconic Can.
Exactly.
That everybody knows and loves. It's become the meme in like, pop culture and everything. So you're going to smile the entire time. It's really going to lift your mood and your spirits. It's one of those happy ballets.
Yes.
And you don't really know why you're smiling except for the fact that it just makes you smile. Yeah. This one might be harder to find. I don't think I see it very much
live.
Yeah, in programs. And if you do happen to find it in a theater near you, then that would be a really fun opportunity to go see it. Kind of a rarity, so if you can get it, go take it. Okay, the next one that we're going to be talking about is one of my personal favorites. One of my dream roles is in it. And this is The Dream by Frederick Ashton.
Yes.
Now, of course, there are two versions. There is A Midsummer Night's Dream by George Balanchine.
Also iconic.
Is also iconic. And
but
then
I think that one's a full-length ballet.
That one is a little longer, I believe. And then there's also The Dream, which is the same story
of A Midsummer Night's
Dream, but it is by Frederick Ashton, which happens to be one of our favorite choreographers ever. So we're going to be talking about that one today. It's almost a comedy ballet. I mean, because the nature of Shakespeare's original tale, A Midsummer Night's Dream, there's
a lot of comedy.
It has a lot of comedic elements to it, and I think just the story premise in general, there's so much room for.
It's like the Fae getting involved in human lives and messing everything up.
It's funny.
The comedy makes itself.
I would recommend you watch a crash course on pantomime and like maybe the story. But pantomime is really going to help you in this ballet. There are quite a few heavy pantomime scenes, and we did do a pantomime video a very long time ago.
That was not really a serious pantomime video.
It was very unserious, but it might give you some guidelines. So if you want to check it out, I mean, that was a really old video. Go check it out.
And the last one, I'm going to open with this one because I'm so excited about this.
This one's one of our favorites of all time.
This one is a fantastic ballet, and it is so short, but it is so wonderful.
This is definitely more of a contemporary ballet.
Yes. So if you kind of like that old sort of jazzy New York vibe, you're gonna like this ballet. And this is called Fancy Free.
Fancy Free.
And this is by Jerome Robbins. And it is a fantastic short little ballet. Okay, you know that picture Nighthawks, that painting? It's basically that vibe, but you make it comedic and a ballet.
Yeah, exactly.
And it sounds so far removed, but it has the same vibe.
Trust me, I think the concept and the scenes are so human and extremely casual, but it's also so full full of life and energy in a very real and unfiltered and mildly unhinged way.
Yes. So basically the main premise is there are 3 sailors.
Yes.
And they're out on the town for the night, right?
Yeah.
And then they come across 2 girls. And obviously there's an issue because not all of the guys can get a girl and one of them's going to be alone. And then that sort of transpires throughout the entire evening.
It's comical.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
But ultimately, it's just packed with lively joy and playfulness and camaraderie.
It really is the best energy. It's vibey and it's fun. It's jazzy too.
It is jazzy.
It just leaves you like, it feels so good because it's genuinely the most wholesome ballet, but not wholesome as in like it's all perfect, but it's wholesome as in it's real and it feels very, very much human.
Yeah.
It's great. And also the choreography is fantastic. Jerome Robbins is incredible. Yeah, the music is
it
wonderful.
Bernstein?
Yes, it is. Absolutely fantastic. So Fancy Free, again, a really short ballet, but you're going to absolutely be smiling and giggling the entire time. So that is our sort of list of your short and sweet little ballets.
Last category that we're going to get into today is, obviously we have a lot of young ballet nerds and ballet nerd parents watching, so this is going to be our family-friendly / kid-friendly ballets. Ones specifically ballets that we would recommend for young children. If they have expressed interest in going to see a ballet, or if you want your kid to become a ballet nerd.
Exactly, or if your inner child is in need of ballet nerd nourishment.
That is an important one.
This is your list.
Yes. We would be amiss to not mention the most family-friendly and the most popular family ballet in the world.
Yeah.
The Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker.
This one is family friendly for so many reasons. One, it's very accessible. Pretty much everyone will have some sort of Nutcracker around their general vicinity, around the holidays especially.
Yes.
2, it's one of the classics.
It's one of the great Tchaikovsky ballets.
Yeah.
So it is a classic.
There is a little girl protagonist. So a lot of young children might be able to follow the story a little better, or at least relate to it a little better because there's like, you see a little girl on the stage.
Yeah, of course.
It caters to a younger view in the sense that, you know, it's set in like the Christmas holiday season. So it's a very childlike, very whimsical, magical Christmas magic, bonus points for Christmas magic sort of ballet.
Yes. The Nutcracker is also gonna carry a lot of the iconic classical music pieces.
Yes.
If you're one of those parents that likes to expose your children to classical music, they're gonna recognize Waltz of the Flowers. They're going to recognize the Children's March.
Dun, 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 dun,
the Russian dance.
Sugar Plum Fairy.
Oh my
god, Sugar Plum Fairy.
Of course. You're gonna have a lot of those really famous, iconic Tchaikovsky pieces in the Nutcracker alone. And so that in itself, I think, is a great reason, I think, to take your children to see the Nutcracker.
Yeah. No section of the Nutcracker is extremely long of just dancing.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe Sugar Plum Pas de Deux, potentially the Snow Pas de Deux.
Right.
But those are like the 2 longer sections of the ballet that are just straight dancing. Everything else is very colorful, pretty fast paced. Like the divertissements are quite short.
And you have like different sets, different costume, different vibes, different music. And so I feel like for kids, it's really digestible.
Wholesomely. This is the reason why a lot of people start ballet, or a lot of children spark that first desire to get into ballet. Because again, it's magic, it's Christmas magic.
It's Christmas magic.
It's Tchaikovsky magic.
It is Tchaikovsky magic.
And, I mean, the Sugar Plum Fairy comes up on stage and you're sold.
You're
as a little girl in the
yeah.
audience, you're like, okay, this is me.
This
is the rest of my life.
Number 2 on the list, though, is definitely going to be the easiest in terms of following the story because there literally is a narrator narrating the story as the ballet progresses. And this one is, of course, Peter and the Wolf.
This one we'd recommend for very young children, especially.
Yes. So you're going to hear the narration, obviously, which is basically its own commentary over the ballet. And so you kind of have, you know, the comprehension of it built into the ballet. Of course, you have the motifs, the leitmotifs. And so kids get to sort of make associations like, oh, when I'm watching ballet, you know, certain instruments sometimes connect to different characters on the stage. And I think that's a really great way for kids to sort of get accustomed and acquainted with the characters.
Yes. The story is very simple.
The story is very simple.
Not incredibly contentious, which is good for children.
So it's very easy to understand. And I think that even for like adults as well, getting into ballet for the first time, this is a great intro. If you're looking for like a literal translation of the ballet, if you would. It's very, very helpful. Oh, also that one's really short.
It's extremely short. It's like 20 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
Maybe even just like 15.
Even little kids will be able able to sit in the audience, and they'll probably get excited being like, oh look, it's the duck, or oh look, it's a cat,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they're animals and things that they recognize and that they'll definitely be drawn towards.
The next one, I think this is again one of my favorite ballets actually,
Ooh.
because my inner child.
Your inner child, of course.
Because I loved the book growing up.
Oh no, of course.
And this is obviously Alice's Adventures in Wonderland.
Alice's Adventureland.
Alice's Adventureland. We love Alice's Adventureland.
Yeah.
Specifically the Christopher Wheeldon version. Oh my goodness, this is such a beautifully done production. Like, ballet aside, just the production quality.
The production, it's incredible. The sets are incredible. The costumes are immaculate, you guys. And genuinely, the effects are so cool. It really feels like a whole show. It's not just dancing. It's a production. TM.
It's incredible. And again, it stays quite true to the original Lewis Carroll tale. Like, she really just goes through Wonderland and you meet all the different characters. And the way they're put together, they encapsulate the book characters so perfectly
so well
in a non-verbal language of dance.
It's actually insane. We did do a commentary on the Mad Hatter scene, which you can watch later.
Yep, you can watch
should
later.
you choose. If you know the story of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, it's gonna be an easy ballet for you to follow. And if you like that sort of like trippy, but like ultimately very whimsical and very magical sort of vibe, I think this would be really fun.
Yeah,
especially if you have older kids that really love the story of Alice and they kind of like that fantastical sort of world, then they're gonna love this ballet. And you as an adult are going to appreciate it too, because genuinely the production is so good, the choreography is so good, and the music is so good. And so it's really a whole family ballet. I think Alice is really good for that.
Yeah, it's good for children and people with inner children, which is
exactly everyone has an inner child, so don't neglect him or her. Feed them with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The next one that we're going to be talking about is another fairy tale. This one's iconic, and there are several versions of this one as well, but you cannot go wrong in terms of like a family ballet with Cinderella. Cinderella is iconic. Everyone knows the story. Everyone loves the story. If you don't, then you know what.
I mean, you know what? If you don't, that's okay. It's subjective.
That's fair, it's subjective.
But everyone loves Cinderella.
But everyone loves Cinderella. And so there are several versions of this. There's a Christopher Wheeldon version.
Yes.
But there's also a Frederick Ashton version. And that's the one that we're most familiar with.
There's like several other versions.
There are so many versions. I think a lot of companies have done their own Cinderella just because it's one of those classic tales that everyone wants to take a spin on. But those are definitely the most iconic too in terms of like repertoire wise. It's comedy and it's also whimsy and wholesomeness, and it's happy endings and it's love
happily
and
ever
it's
after. Magical transformation.
It's Cinderella in a ballet, and the music is by Prokofiev, so it does kind of have that darker magical vibe that
really
you kind of get. Yeah, it's very sparkly.
I will say, of all the ballets on this list, I think Cinderella is the most dance heavy. So
definitely.
I would recommend Cinderella maybe if your child has a bit longer of an attention span.
Yeah.
It's a lot more dance heavy. It is a full length ballet. There's like 3 acts in it, so it's decently long.
I think this one is good for like older children maybe, or again for your inner child yourself, but it is a bit on the longer side. I mean, the production is going to be great. I mean, Cinderella, it's magical, it's sparkly, it's enchanting, it's gonna hit all the boxes in terms of that fairy tale vibe.
We have done a commentary on the transformation scene from Frederick Ashton's Cinderella.
Yes, it is beautiful.
It whimsies your day.
It will whimsy your day. The last one on this list, and this one is going to be a rarity. I really don't know if anyone really performs this ballet anymore.
I think it's on YouTube.
It is available to purchase on the Royal Opera House's website, I believe. This ballet is one of the greatest.
A masterpiece.
For one particular reason. The reason is Jemima Puddle Duck, and the ballet of question is the Beatrix Potter ballet. I mean, it's Beatrix Potter. I don't know what else could
tell you.
I don't know what else to say. It's going to clear your skin, water your crops, and keep your kids happy.
It will help you age in reverse. You will become young and vivacious again.
You will feel young again.
You will de-age by watching Jemima Puddle Duck. I swear to you.
This is, again, it's not really full stories per se, but it does kind of follow the characters, and you get to meet each one individually, and they kind of have their own little mini story arc, so it's like a collection sort of.
Like the Beatrix Potter treasury.
Of course, Jemima is going to be the highlight, but you also see Miss Tiggy Winkles, and you'll also see Peter Rabbit, and you'll
Jeremy Fisher.
Fisher's in there as well. They're going to absolutely make your day. The costuming is
stunning,
absolutely incredible.
They look like you pull them out of the
book and plop them on the stage, and now they're doing all of their nonsense on stage. stage live for you, and it's incredible.
All their shenanigans.
It's genuinely the cutest ballet I think that has ever existed, and there's not a single ballerina
in sight
on the stage at all. It's just all of Beatrix Potter's little critters just on the stage, and they're doing little ballet steps.
Honestly, I feel like this almost caters more to the adult than the
kid. It might, because of the nostalgic, you know, piece that's added into it. So literally for your inner child, this one is literally going to add years to your life, you guys. I'm not even joking.
If you're wanting a ballet full of just little fellows doing little fellow things, then you should watch the Beatrix Potter ballet.
Oh, what's also funny in that one is that they do reference classical ballet in it. So it's half parodied. Like, you'll see Jemima doing little bits from Swan Lake.
Some of the music is from Paquita.
Yeah, some of the music is from classical
ballet.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's really, really funny in that regard.
I think Squirrel Nutkin dances to Cupid.
To Cupid, yeah.
Which is from Don Quixote. And so if you're a ballet nerd, you like get to appreciate like the tongue-in-cheek of it.
Yeah, it really is, because it's so serious, but it's also very unserious. That's why it's one of our favorites, and that's why we think it might be one of your favorites.
There you have it. I hope one of these ballets at least piqued your interest.
Yes, hopefully something spoke to that little ballet nerd heart of yours, or the ballet nerd hearts of the ones that you love. And so if you want another part 2 of this series, the Ballet Matchmaker series, then make sure you leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss when the next one comes out, because we'd be really sad if you missed it, because we had fun with you today.
Yeah, we did. If you do go see any of these ballets, comment below.
Yes,
let us know. We definitely want to hear all of your thoughts on these recommendations, and we want to hear you guys support the ballet nerds in the comment section. Tell them which ones you recommend, what your experience was, and hopefully we can make it a little easier for our ballet nerds to get into the theater actually sitting down and watching a ballet.
We want to give a huge thank you to all of our patrons for helping make this video possible. You can see them all on the screen now. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And if you have not become a patron yet, but you would like to support the work that we do, because that's what you would do if you become a patron.
You would help keep the lights on, keep Michelangelo appeased, keep Cameron appeased, and keep our team happy.
Yeah, so if you want to do that, then you can feel free to click the link in the description box or visit patreon.com/balletrain. And finally, we want to say a huge thank you to FOREO for partnering with us on today's video.
Make sure to click the link in the description box below and use the code BR30 to get 30% off almost all FOREO products. Anyways, I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballerine signing off. Until the next video.
Bye. The next category we're going to be covering
Hopefully you swiped right on one of those ballets.
Back to the video.
Sorry.
You're very distracted. So the next category we're going to be covering today is your oh my god, that's really hard to say. Sort of short and sweet. That was really hard to say. Okay, hold on. Okay, the next category, oh my goodness.
He fainted.
Michelangelo.
Get some water. He's distracted too.
Everyone's distracted today. What the heck? Third time's a charm. Here we go.
Then we can do the whole like thank you our patrons and then close out.
That's fine. Oh, me?
Oh, me. You're just staring into the void. You're just like... You know what ballet that we do need? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted again. You know what ballet that we do need?
What?
The Wind in the Willows.
That would be a cute ballet.
I adored that book.
That would be really cute.
It is objectively one of my favorite books. Again, The Little Fellows. I can't get over The Little Fellows. Or like a Frog and Toad ballet.
Oh my god.
So good.
A Frog and Toad ballet would be hysterical.
It's so cute.
I love Frog and Toad.
Does anyone kite and they bake the
anyone
cookies?
Remember that? Or the Mole Sisters.
The Mole Sisters. I do not have socks on. It is distressing me.
What?
I am a dedicated sock wearer.
Are you joking?
I really do not enjoy being barefoot. So right now I am, and it is a sensory nightmare. You don't have to include this in the video. I just thought someone should know. Preferably you. And not our 60,000 subscribers.
I don't know why it's so hard. Literally every time we do...